Yo, 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 what is up for the next episode of Monday with Molly? Remote edition. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I love to hug trees, literally. So I'm sitting against one. So as per usual, YouTube, like, share, subscribe if these videos are helping you and the people you care about. I think I have about 7 more Monday with Molly's to make and 7 more Flip Your 20 Fridays, I think, somewhere in that range. So today's topic is you gotta see it to be it. You gotta see it to be it. And this is gonna be another non-political video about our political world. So over the weekend, American history was made with the first female vice president-elect, who was also black, who was also an Indian American, who was also biracial. And that's American history. Now, it's non-political. It's going to be a non-political video. If you've been following me, you know that. So it's not about that. It doesn't matter if you like her or hate her. It's not the point. The point is you got to see it to be it. And I'm going to give you a few examples before I come back to that. The 4-minute mile was thought to be impossible until someone did it. Roger Bannister. You got to see it to be it. He did it, and wouldn't you know, within a short time, I think it was a few months. Don't correct me on that time frame, but I think it was, or please correct me on the time frame. Don't take my word for that exact time frame. After he did it, a few months later, like, a bunch of people did it, and now it's a thing. Right? Everything's, or it seems impossible until it's done. Got to see it to be it. I'll use Oprah as an example. Oprah saw Sidney Poitier on TV and thought, black folk can be on TV? And then she saw Barbara Walters. And she said, women can be a journalist? Got to see it to be it. So I share those two examples, which have nothing to do with politics. And I share that because as I was watching Biden and Harris do their speeches the other night, the thing that came to my mind, just powerfully, was my friends who have daughters. And my friends have daughters from newborn to high school, college age. But especially their young daughters, all that kept coming to my mind was they will only know a world where a woman can be vice president of the United States of America. That's amazing. I'm 46 and just learned that. Oh my gosh, a woman can become vice president in America? So think how that opens the doors for girls of all ages everywhere. And frankly, women of all ages. Because what this does, right, because you gotta see it to be it. Not just in the political world. In your job, working on moving up the ladder, if you will, becoming more CEOs, CFOs, entrepreneurs, highest levels in science and economists and researchers and authors, and yes, there are. Yes, obviously there's women. Obviously, but at the highest level and having more, when they see it, then it becomes real. Just think about the 4-minute mile. It was thought to be impossible. It was tried over and over and over. And America's behind the times. Like a lot of other countries have had women in the top leadership position for a while. Margaret Thatcher became prime minister in 1979. That was 41 years ago. So, and so I'm just saying that, for young girls now to see what's possible. And frankly, young boys and men to see women in the most powerful positions, right? But let's go back in time a little bit, right? So this is the 100-year anniversary of women being able to vote. I see a 102-year-old woman on social media going to vote. She was born at a time where women couldn't. That's I mean, think of that perspective she has. It's amazing. But let's go back to, you know, I did a video before on Shirley Chisholm, because she's buried here at Forest Lawn in Buffalo, New York. I did a video on her in August. She was an African-American woman who ran for the presidential ticket and on the Democratic side in the 70s. 70s, yeah. She didn't get it, but she ran. And then you had, and I think it was, I want to say 88. Don't quote me on my dates because I'm not sure. But you had, on the Republican side, you had Walter Mondale running with Geraldine Ferraro, the first female on an actual ticket for a major party. They lost, but Geraldine Ferraro is like, I remember seeing that and being like, what? Women can do that? And then you have Sarah Palin was on the ticket with McCain. And then you have Hillary Clinton, who, again, love her or hate her, not a political post, became the first female to be the nomination of a major party. That's American history. And now we have Kamala Harris. It's history. And that changes the perspective of what is possible. And even with the Supreme Court, you had Ronald Reagan, a Republican president. Because I think sometimes when we think about like women in these positions, we always think it's a Democratic side. It's not. Ronald Reagan was the first president. He was Republican, if you're young enough to not know that. And he nominated Sandra Day O'Connor as the first woman on the Supreme Court. And the Senate overwhelmingly, I don't know if it was unanimous, but overwhelmingly, it was like, yep. And that was in 81. And of course, you had Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And then Justice Kagan, and then Justice Sotomayor, and now we have Justice Barrett. So there's 3 women on the Supreme Court, 6 men. That's why when you hear Ruth Bader Ginsburg say, she was asked when will you be happy with, or how many women will have to be on the Supreme Court till you're happy, she says, until there's 9. And she says, why is that a radical thought? There's been 9 men forever, right? So now there's a third. There's 3 women. That matters. Representation matters. And I think about, too, like growing up, even in high school, I remember, like, our basketball team, we were good. We didn't, win any major things, many major titles, but we were good. And because we were good and we hustled and the three-point line was installed, when I was in 8th grade, we did well. And I ended up, when I graduated, I was the 3rd leading scorer in Western New York, 1,826 points. Sure didn't do it on my own. But when our athletic director was putting records together, I remember the conversation part of it. I can picture it, and I was like, well, why? I don't know if he was trying to do girls' record, boys' record, or the school record. The boy was on, but I was on the girls' record. I was the girls' record, but then there was a school record. And I remember thinking, wait a minute, if it's a school record, then I should be at the top of the list because I have more points than anyone in the history of the school at that point. And he said, yeah, but your points are all garbage points, so they're fast break points. Because we were so good, we'd fast break. And I'm thinking at that time UNLV was the top men's basketball program in the country with Coach Tarkanian, and they were a run and gun offense. But because we're doing it, it's garbage points, and mine are garbage points, so I don't count. So anyway, I'm just sharing that because I feel like that was my first experience that I can remember of being told, doesn't really count because you're a girl. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I'm like, what? And this is 1992. And I hear it sometimes too with my business, with speaking. It's a male-dominated industry. That's fine, no problem. But I've had clients say to me, yeah, well, we think, we like your message, but we think that the boys will be able to relate to you too because you're an athlete and you have muscles. I've heard that more than once. And at first I remember being like super ticked, but then I was like, okay, that's feedback, that's what they're thinking, so I'll use that as part of my marketing or something, whatever. Why does that matter? I mean, I'm cool that matters. Like, my message is for everyone. If you've heard my message, it doesn't matter if you're an athlete, if you're not, what your gender is, what your race, your religion, it's a human message. Teachers get a lot of it out of it too. And I remember thinking, like, have they ever said this to a male speaker? No matter what the male speaker looks like, have they ever said, well, we like your message, but we think the girls will relate to you because you are fill in the blank? My hunch tells me that has probably never happened. So I still see it, I hear it. I don't let it bother me, I just use it to my advantage because I know the message is for everybody. But it's 2020 and I still experience it in that way. I've had clients tell me, and they usually whisper on the phone, and I really respect it. They're like, I'm a little embarrassed to say, but we've never hired a female speaker, or it's been a while, or good ones are hard to find. And we're a smaller population, I get that, but I've met some in the past few years with networking at conferences. There's some really good ones out there. We have a smaller pool to pick from, but they're there. So that's why watching this weekend and seeing Kamala Harris, again, you can love her or hate her. You got to see it to be it. Seeing a female in that position, the second most powerful position in the land, it matters. And I'm sure you've seen the meme going around of pictures of all the other vice presidents, right? All white men, mainly old white men, like row after row. And then you see Madam Vice President-elect on the right-hand side of the screen. And it's just like a slap upside the head of, wow, that is historical. So not only do girls get to see what's possible, but girls who are black, girls of other races, right? You think black, indigenous people of color, girls who fit into that category, biracial girls, they were watching. Can I do that too? We have a girl vice president? Again, I don't care if you hate her politics or not. That matters, and it matters for boys and men to see it too. It's historical. You got to see it to be it. So what are we in our everyday lives showing girls what's possible? And I know this video is going long and I'm going to let it go. I hope you're still watching. I love when I go to speak at a school that I'm not like I always say I'm not like your typical female speaker, meaning I'm not wearing a dress, I'm not in fancy clothes, I don't wear makeup. I go in my Flip Your 20 shirt, pair of jeans, and my super cool sneakers that say kindness and equality on them. And I flex on the boys. And I'm like talking like I normally talk, like I'm just doing my thing. And that's showing anyone in the audience you're allowed to be authentic. That's what when I say gotta see it to be it, they're seeing what authenticity looks like and how it just suits me, like they know I'm not like BSing in my message. That gives them then permission. I don't care, again, boy, girl, straight, gay, transgender, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, it doesn't matter. Humans are given permission to be their true selves. When I share my story of the things I went through and all the trauma and all that, the number of kids and the teachers who come up and say, like, I thought I was the only one, or now I know that there's hope. Being vulnerable gives them permission to do the same. So they got to see it to be it. And in my world, that's one way I'm able to do that. Showing up as me and just sharing my story. That's why this is a non-political video. How are you showing up in your life to let others, it doesn't matter what age, doesn't matter what gender, doesn't matter what political affiliation, how are you showing up to let others see what is possible And that could be in any aspect. Maybe it's with finances, showing someone how to invest and what compound interest is all about. Maybe it's about taking care of your health. Maybe it's about learning how to compromise better. I mean, that list could go on and on, obviously. How are you showing up to let others know what is possible? Because they got to see it to be it. That's what I have for you today. I hope I was able to hold the camera steady. I have it on a little tripod on my knee here, sitting on the ground, so I get this ultimate close-up here. So I will see you at the end of the week for the next Flip Your 20 Friday. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Peace.